Hello, everyone. I'm Eve Richards, and welcome to another episode of the Discovery Pod with Eve. It's great to be back here in the studio in Burbank. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with the acclaimed award-winning actor, producer, writer, and director, Harley Wallen. Harley has starred in over 40 films and TV shows, collaborating with a lot of legendary actors. He is also the co-founder of Painted Creek Productions, a production company known for its diverse and impactful films. In this episode, we'll delve into Harley's journey in the entertainment industry, his creative process, and the stories behind some of his most notable works. Stay tuned for an engaging conversation with Harley. You can watch this episode on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. I am joined today by my co-host, Tess Broussard. Tess is an actress. She's a comedian. She's a single mother. And on the weekends, Tess actually rescues animals. So I haven't seen Tess since 2024. It is so good to have Tess back. Tess, welcome back.
Thank you, love. And I really enjoy coming back. It's been crazy in the past week, and you said 24. That sounded like a whole year ago, but it wasn't. It was just a month ago.
I know. So much has happened, Tess. First of all, I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. It seems like it's ages ago, but it was just a few weeks ago. And I hope you're safe. You and your daughter, I hope you guys are safe.
Well, we were in the fire, but we didn't get our houses touched, thank God. We saw the fire. Actually, my neighbor saw the fire. He calls me up and he says, Tess, he goes, do you see the fires? And I'm like, yes, I see it on the news. He goes, no. He goes, look out your window. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like calling my daughter and downstairs. So I call her and I say, there's a fire. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I freeze. And then my daughter like, get it together, Mom. And when she's only 17, she goes, get it together. Let's just pack a week's worth of clothes and get food for the dog and the cat and their toys and just get your passport, get your social security. She's like on TikTok, like looking at what to like bring. And I'm like, she's like a super trooper. And I'm here frozen and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Wow.
So anyways, we look for a hotel. I call my brother who's in Texas and he's like, go south. I'm like, well, where south? I go, can you help me find a hotel? And we couldn't find anything. Everything was taken. We did find one room, like at a Motel 6 down by Koreatown. And I said, I'll take it. No worries. And then we stayed there. We were relaxed. Then the next day they kicked us out because somebody had rented the room for that day. So we couldn't find any hotels available. Then we just went to Palm Springs because we're like, we'll drive 3 or 4 hours. I mean, however long it takes to get to Palm Springs. And we stayed there till Sunday.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, and I'm glad you're doing well. I know it's been a very difficult period for all of us here in the LA County area, and I'm praying for everyone's safety. And we're so honored today that we're joined by Harley Wallen, an award-winning actor, director, writer, and producer whose work has had significant impact on independent cinema, known for his powerful performances and bold storytelling. Harley's films challenge the way we think and feel. As the founder of Painted Creek Productions, Harley has brought us films like Devil's Left Hand and Ashen Bone, both receiving 100% fresh ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. His film Betrayed, starring John Savage, continues to spark meaningful conversations with upcoming projects like Fathers, Final Recovery, and Finding Nicole. Harley continues to push creative boundaries, tackling heavy topics like addiction and personal traumas. But beyond his work in the industry, who's Harley? what fuels his passion, and how does he balance his demanding career with his personal life? What advice does he have for up and coming who are facing rejections in the industry? So today we're ready to delve into this conversation and cover the story behind the filmmaker. Harley, welcome to the Discovery Pod with Eve. It's so good to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Eve. That's an incredible introduction. I hope I live up to that. And thank you, Tess, for being here with us today. It was great. We got a chance to meet right before this.
Yes.
So happy that you're both safe, and my prayers and wishes for Los Angeles during a challenging time for sure. It's inspiring to see the goodness in people's hearts. I mean, I know there are bad eggs out there, but it's inspirational to see how much you guys come together to face this. I saw I'm a big fan of Police Academy, and I saw that little video with Steve Guttenberg. I own a movie with him. It's called like The Boyfriend School or something like that from forever ago that I thought was such a hilarious comedy. And he's out there moving cars and doing incredible things in the community. I love that.
Awesome.
It seems incredible.
So your body of work speaks volumes. What drives your passion to keep creating, especially after having already achieved so much?
I think I got bit by the bug. I'm a martial artist. I'm a former breakdancer. I did all kinds of things in the music world and in martial arts, and I ended up getting on a show in Sweden and was just supposed to be a dancer on the show, and they ended up calling us in for odd lines here and there. I started hanging out with the actors, and I started realizing that what we think acting is when we don't know anything is very different from what it actually is when you start working with it. And I just fell in love with acting and storytelling then, and it's never let me go.
Wow, it's amazing. I want to ask you, you've worked with legends like John Savage and Billy Wirth. Did you take things that you learned? Did you learn anything from them early on, and do you apply it now? And can you tell us about it?
Yeah, for sure. It's funny that you picked them two out of the bunch because they're very good friends of mine that I literally just texted and was asking when we're going to get together while I'm here.
Wow.
But John is very special to me. He is iconic. Even to this day, he's one thing that I love about him that made me focus on being curious. To have done what he's done, I think in Deer Hunter, in my humble opinion, I know back then they wouldn't give multiple nominations for supporting roles, but he should have been nominated alongside. I think he should have been nominated in Hair. I think he was incredible. But one of the things that he's still curious, he's still excited. And one key thing that I always tell actors is your favorite role you have ever had is your current role. If you think like that, you will never lay an egg. You're always going to go in and you're always going to give your best performance. But if you're always waiting to do your best performance for the next big opportunity, you probably never get it.
Wow.
That's great advice.
It is.
I think
great
it's very
advice.
important. I think a lot of people, they look for some miraculous role in a big studio budget where they call you up to be the lead. And it's like, probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be better that the one role you have now in this independent film, if you lay down your best performance ever, guess who's going to come knocking?
Wow. That's
You know?
incredible.
Yeah, just be grateful.
Yes.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we get to do some pretty. I mean, this is your job.
Yeah.
And our jobs. Like, how blessed are we to get to do this to begin with? Why wouldn't we lay down our best performance each time we had an opportunity? So I think that curiosity and that drive to see that in John as he's aging and been through doing this so long, that is very much keeping me curious as well.
Incredible. So in Fathers, you explore complex psychological themes. How do you prepare for a project that demands such deep emotional engagement from both you and the audience?
Fathers is an interesting project for me. I went through a rough divorce a long time ago, and I've always wanted to tell some of my story, but I never knew how to tell it. So I realized that I don't have to tell the exact story. I could tell a story that has the same message. So in Fathers, what we're doing is we're playing with your mind like a victim would be played. So we go on the journey of not knowing who this young girl's father is, and everything is not what it seems. And I love the cat and mouse game of storytelling. I think so often we lose the mystery aspect to filmmaking, and we just serve everything to the audience. And I like an intelligent audience that wants to peel the layers with us. So that's how I think it is with Fathers. It's a bit traumatic to play it. But I also think that it gives us, that's why I think actors are so empathic, is we have to identify with all these different characters we play, and maybe see a bit of where they come from, not justify their behavior, but have some understanding of why they are where they are.
Yeah, Harley, your films tackle just heavily on complex human issues and subject matters. How do you deal with the emotional toll these projects can have on you as a creator?
I don't run from my feelings. So we often hug and cry and laugh on set. I try to have a very creative set. We're all there. Nobody's going to seek perfection, but we're all there for excellence. We're all there to go through something together. And I try to really keep a positive, creative set where I want actors to dare to go places maybe that they wouldn't feel totally safe to go otherwise. I want to create that environment where people say, I can really step into this and get a taste of this and have maybe a greater understanding. When we did Finding Nicole, my wife was picked to play the lead by the actual Nicole. And to play and portray somebody who's alive, who comes to set every day, and to go through her traumas was just tough. Like, I just took my hat off to Katie every day. She just did such an amazing thing. And she's never lived through any kind of domestic violence like that. But her understanding of it now, and now it's a big passion of hers. And we have another true story. And she's the one that keeps pushing me that we need to make that this summer. We have to make it this summer because of the impact of a film like that on an audience, and how many people is touched by something like that. So, yeah, I think we use people's trauma for an opportunity to teach and learn and become a little bit more empathic to people.
That's great.
With Final Recovery, you're taking on a timely and heavy subject, opioid addiction. What aspect of that issue do you hope resonates most with viewers?
Oh my goodness, that was such an amazing project. You know, we had Charlene Tilton played the lead, Lucy from way
Dallas.
back in the day from Dallas. Yeah. She is so incredible still today. And then Jasper Cole, who's I think it's his first lead, and I guarantee you could never tell. You would have no idea.
Wow.
Just does an incredible job. And then Richard Tyson came in and laid down a really powerful performance. Such good people coming in and dealing with this. And what I love about this story is it shows the layers of lack of understanding when it comes to opioid addiction. And it shows how badly it can go when we lose touch with people, and how difficult it is to solve these problems. Charlene tries to solve those problems with gruesome violence, but
Wow.
I want to ask you about these. You're really heavily in martial arts, and we spoke about TJ Storm earlier. And hi, TJ, if you're watching.
Yes. Hey, we got to get together while I'm here.
TJ and I were on a season of VR Troopers, a sister or brother show of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the day. So I played the Pink Vixen, and he played Dr. Doom.
Yes.
And it was a really great show, and he's a special guy. He knows a lot about martial arts, and I want to know, like, he does a lot of choreographing. Do you do your own choreographing for all your action movies, and you come up with the moves for all the guys you're fighting against?
We actually have a pretty cool fight scene in Betrayed, actually, me and TJ. And we collaborated on that together. So I definitely, when you have somebody like TJ, there's no way I'm gonna choreograph that without his input, because he's better than me at it. So that's gonna be a collaboration where I take where I listen, right? So that was phenomenal. But even in some of those things that we did, and we've done 3 films together now, me and TJ, and
amazing.
He's such a good guy and such a good actor. We were just talking about that before. He just has the look that I'm just surprised that he hasn't made it into one of those all these shows between Game of Thrones. He's just so perfect for it all.
Yeah, you should see him, Eve. He's like a Jason
braid.
Momoa.
Oh my gosh.
Long hair, tall. He's Hawaiian, black, Puerto Rican guy.
Yeah.
From
Incredible.
Hawaii. Also from Hawaii.
Wow. So you've got a very busy 2025 coming up,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
tell the audience about some of your exciting projects that you're going to be out there promoting.
Yeah, so we have between Finding Nicole, Final Recovery, and Fathers, they will all premiere this year, and it looks like spring. Thank you.
That is fantastic. Woo!
Yes.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that, and also if everything goes as planned, we are producing 3 films this year too.
Wow.
Which is going to be another wild ride, and hopefully our next film is going to be our first stab at a dark comedy, has action and thriller elements.
Wow.
But yeah.
We love
You're right.
comedy.
Yeah.
We love
She's a comedian.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you,
the only thing I've done in that direction are the Bennett Song movies, the Bennett Song and Bennett Song Holiday. Those definitely have that comedic touch, but they're more family films. Poker Night will not be that. Poker Night is it's a fun, wild ride. Kind of if you The Hangover meets The Gentleman, which is a big show right now, but kind of somewhere in between those very unique, wild characters that all come together for a crazy night of poker at a casino, and everything goes haywire, which is a great time. So that one we're looking forward to hopefully shooting in March, maybe April. Okay. But we're working on getting everything finalized as we speak, so we can start casting hopefully in February, first week of February.
That's incredible.
So it sounds like we need to talk.
Hey,
yeah.
give Roger a call. He's also
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so Harley, what do you see as a role of a filmmaker in today's world? And I know you've done a lot of films during your course of, acting. How do you stay relevant to modern audiences? I mean, how do you keep it going?
I think the key thing is to not worry so much about that. Wow. That sounds maybe backwards, but I think a lot of people, they're trying really hard to think about what the market wants, but you're reacting at that point, which means you're going to be late. The process of making a movie means, development, pre-production, production, post-production, and then the whole 6 months before you get distribution, maybe a few months for the film festivals. By the time your film comes out, it's been a year and a half. Yeah. So you might have missed the whole thing. So I think when you make a movie, I think you're going to be best if you make something you love. So tell a story that you're dying to tell. Speak the words that you're dying to say as the character. If you choose that approach, I think it doesn't matter when you make and what you make so much. I think if you do it from the heart, and if you really love what you're doing, and you assemble a team that loves it and gets it, and the key thing for me is have everybody make the same film. And I've had people stare at me and say, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "No, you don't get it. As a director, we all need to make the same film. If you have an actor that pulls the story this way, and then one that pulls it this way, how am I going to follow this when I watch the movie? If we all make the same film, if we can all really get on the same page, the storytelling will make so much more sense. And again, I think that's where the stories are told best.
Wow.
When you do it that way.
That's a good segue into the next question.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback on what you just asked. So, what is your approach to building chemistry with actors on set, especially in projects like Fathers, where emotions run high?
So I am very big on ensuring that we all make the same film. So I meet individually with the actors, and I meet as a team, and we do table reads. I take it serious. You know, this is somebody's going to pick my film instead of $100 million film right next to each other on a streaming site. So if they're going to make that choice, I want to give them a reason to. So if I can really tell a great story through the actors, through a cinematographer that's understanding what I'm trying to do and capture the moments in the right place at the right time. And when you do that, I think it becomes magical. I still believe in magic.
Oh,
Me
yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah. Peter Pan here.
Oh, yes.
You know, Harley, you've worn so many hats as a, director, writer, producer. What role do you find the most fascinating and most satisfying?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it's almost like asking you about your favorite child. I have 5 kids. I don't have a favorite child.
Whoa.
So for me, I think of writing, to me, it's an escape. I think when I write, I go into a bubble and I live in a make-believe world, I'm not here in the real world with everybody else. When I produce, it's all nuts and bolts. It's like Legos, And then when I direct, it's like all that prep that leads me up to that as a director, just throw it away, and now you become instinctive when you get on set. So you have done all the preparation, but preparation is not going to make the film in the moment. It's you have a shot list of what you're trying to accomplish for the day, but sometimes you get in and there's chemistry flying off, or there's something that just pulls your attention, and you just adjust accordingly. And I think you have to be open to that, especially when you work with a great cast, is that when something is there, you have to be able to throw away the plans and go with what we have in front of us, because there's often some incredible fireworks. We were just talking about Vida in Finding Nicole. She plays a podcast host, and I never would have thought of her. She's guest hosted at a bunch of places, so I know she has the talent, but she plays an NPR podcaster. And she's such a podcaster on the show that I was telling Joe just a little bit ago, my manager, who's actually here, Joe Williamson. I was like, Vida should really do something like that. She has that vibe. Like you guys, because you're doing this. Everybody can't do a podcast, but there's some people that are meant for it. You guys are obviously having a great time and great energy, and I'm really enjoying it. But that's the magic.
That's amazing. Going back to Finding Nicole, which we touched on, and it's actually, as you said, it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
So how does working on a film based on real events affect your approach to directing? And I know you talked about your wife who played the lead.
Yeah. Well, I think it was different because Nicole is a producer on the film, so she was there every day. She approved the script. We used parts from her book, but I also sat down with a stack of police reports and sorted out the pieces that I think we could have made several seasons of a TV series of her life. I mean, it is when you realize how many times a woman goes getting hit in her home before she takes the stands to file a complaint or do anything. It's heartbreaking when you see that. So this one had a personal side for me. So I actually grew up in a house with domestic violence. My stepdad was a great stepdad when he was sober.
In Sweden.
Yeah. And when he drank, his demons came out, and so we dealt with that. So this was a way for me to tell Nicole's story, but getting a little bit of her children's
point of view.
Yeah, I just they're so often forgotten because they may or may not be a part of the physical violence, but to live in that, not feeling safe in your own home, whether you're a woman or man or a child, is could you imagine the one place that you have to be safe? It has to be a place of solitude and a place to recharge your batteries. It's where you go to charge your phone and you charge your body. Yeah. So it was a really tough film to make, but because of the baggage, I felt like so much purpose in telling this story. And we told a story that's not just about it, but you get to really go on a journey with Nicole through her court sessions and what happened in real life. It's a very touching, heartfelt. I mean, the film is done at the festival circuit, has done absolutely incredible. I think probably has twice as many awards as any of our other films. And some big ones too. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey. We have Shantae Dallin in it, who is in Detroiters, that just went from Comedy Central and is now on Netflix. And shout out Shantae. She's an amazing actress too. She got a bunch of nominations in Finding Nicole, and I gotta say she should have had a win or two. She's fantastic.
That's incredible.
I'm just curious, how did you Finding Nicole? How did you find that story and pick it up? I mean, there's tons of stories that you could, choose from. Why that one?
So sadly, I was just at the funeral of my lawyer the week before I came here, and he was the one who connected me. So Bill Dobrev, rest in peace, brother. He brought me to Nicole without knowing my history with domestic violence. He said, I have a story that you have to hear, because he was helping her because her husband is still not complying, and he's in prison. And she's making decisions on, what she's going to do when he gets out, talking about, essentially doing a witness reloc. And that always sounds so good when they say it in the movies, until I realized that it wipes out your schooling. So she's a psychotherapist, and she's a counselor, and she teaches domestic violence at high school. She's such an important person, and she would have to give all that up.
Wow.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart. Yeah, that movie, we cried a lot on that set. We cried a lot on that set. It was but it was beautiful because that story, I think, is so important to tell. So important to tell. And Chris Cuomo thought so too. It was, I think, still the most popular episode on Inside Evil.
Wow.
Covering her case. They only cover a little piece of it, but that case took so much attention because it didn't end with just the domestic violence. He tried to hire hitmen from inside the prison to take her out. So it's been a wild ride for her. I feel really bad that somebody has to live that way, and the one person that you're supposed to be able to trust and lean on to prey on you is terrifying.
Wow. So you've been in this industry for quite a while.
Yeah.
What advice would you give anyone out there? I touched on it earlier. I mean, rejection is part of the game. How do you tell someone who's new to, how do they navigate this complex industry?
I think the most important thing is to do it for the right reasons. For me, so I took a hiatus from doing this as a occupation, and I managed in the in the for-profit world out there and made a good living.
Wow.
And I was
What did you
not
do?
happy. I was a VP with Bally Total Fitness when they were around, and I oversaw a big part of the Midwest, and I probably made twice as much as I make now. But I'll tell you,
Is this a gym?
yeah.
He was the VP
yeah.
of Barley. That's a gym.
Yeah, yeah.
was a VP
They got bought out by LA Fitness about, what is it now? Probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Bally's. And money didn't make me any happier. I put my dreams and hopes on the back burner for the longest time, and I said, I moved halfway around the world from Sweden to come here to be an actor. And then I kept putting it on the back burner for, I don't know, what, money? And can I take that with me when I go? No. And I'm not happy. My soul isn't fulfilled. So I decided I was going to pursue this. It's been, God, how long, Joe? 12 years, I think, ago. I decided I was hobby acting. Through this hobby fighting, doing MMA. I did a show on UFC Fight Pass called Warrior Wednesdays that was a blast. I'm actually missing it to be here. We have fights on Friday, but
Wow.
so that's where was I going with that? I lost track when I started talking about the MMA.
Yeah, I think we're just talking about advice to anyone
Yeah.
out there handling rejection.
Yeah.
That can
So
be so
I think
hard.
Yeah.
it's very hard, and I think if you do it for the wrong reasons, which what we came to, I think this business is gonna chew you up and spit you out. But if this is breathing to you,
And it's in your heart.
yeah, like if
You
it's
can
like
withstand.
breathing and you can't do without breathing, that's me. Like if I don't work on whether it's writing or directing or acting, I get restless. My soul gets restless.
Wow.
I don't want to sit still. I love being on set. I love writing. I love directing. I love talking creatively, which is why this is so good. But I love this. If you love this, then back to what we said, what's your favorite role? It's the one you have now, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you can treat it like that, even the small roles, even the small opportunities, every single bit counts and becomes valuable to you, then I believe that all the other things will come. We're seeing it now. Some of the films that we did years and years ago are bringing in revenue, a decade later, getting us bigger paychecks now than they were when they came out, which is wild. So I think if you do it for the right reasons and you tackle it that way, it'll be rewarding, and then the money will come.
That's incredible.
I agree with that. Also, it's also kind of like therapy
Yeah.
because you're
Very much.
putting yourself in somebody's shoes. You got to know the way they think, the way they question everything, the way they may just anything, the way they smell things, the way their five senses.
Don't you learn a lot about yourself when you act?
Yeah.
Because you get to see everything from a different perspective, from the character's perspective. And then you look at yourself and go, I never thought of it that way.
I feel like I am so boring compared to the characters that I play. And, the people that, see me and the characters that I play, they really believe that I'm that character.
Yeah.
Like a ditzy, I used to be blonde, now I'm dirty blonde.
Yeah.
But I'm a ditzy, dirty blonde. But you know what? I go with it because I just don't, whatever.
Let them.
Yeah, I do. But my question to you is, you're always busy with entertainment business, whether it's like acting, writing, you've got things going on in your head. You've got scenes, you've got like the creative juices going on.
Yeah.
So like when you're in a movie working in that, you're so wrapped up in it and you're very intense, like, whether it's methodical or Meisner or Stanislavski. How do you get out of that and decompress, or does it just take a long time?
Yeah, I think it's different depending on what you do, and especially when it's a film or a role that really grabs your soul a little tighter, when it's something that's very relatable. Like for me, Finding Nicole was Final Recovery had parts of that too, with the opioid addiction and trying to break through something like that, and Betrayed was human trafficking. So when it's those type of roles, it sticks to you a little bit longer. I don't fully mind though, because I think it's good for us to kind of remember that there are people out there in these situations, and if we just go on and make the next movie and we don't really reflect too much on it, I don't think we did the subject its due. I think it's good to let it stick with you, because maybe there's something we can do. We just with Finding Nicole, when we're premiering, we were offered a limited theatrical, and I said, I think what would be even better for us to do is if we tour with the film and go to the different theaters that it comes out in, and then we as actors and everybody, we get some shelters involved, and we donate, and we do some silent auctions to give them, because that way not only are we doing it's about talking the talk but walking the walk too, right?
And giving back.
Totally.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah.
So that's what we decided on doing, and I love it. Everybody spoke with one voice. Everybody was in.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's wonderful when you can have that
Magical
alignment with the cast. So what genre is there that you haven't done that you feel like that's next for you?
I am looking forward definitely to doing this dark comedy. I mean, it's a wild ride, and I haven't done that. But I also have a film called Animus that it's like a female revenge type of movie in the style of I Spit on Your Grave. And I've never done anything, because I always think substance over, I'm not a big fan of unnecessary gore or exploitation normally, but there are certain stories that has to be told a certain way, and this is one of them. And I've been scared of this. I wrote this script 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been scared of it ever since, because I keep looking at that. I don't know if I can direct that.
Why is that?
I don't know if I can push people that far. This
Really?
film needs to smack you across the face when you watch it, and to go there, and because as an actor, you don't go through all of it. It's not fully real, but you have to go through part of it. So it has to be experiential, because that's how the audience gets it. And I was always worried, am I going to be able to do this? And I finally now feel like I'm ready. So I'm very excited to take that on, because it is, people that watch my films are going to go, because it is pretty wild.
So you already have the cast you already envision for this cast?
No, I love being surprised. I can't wait to do a casting call. I love seeing people lay down a read. And here's the big tip. If you're an actor, I'm going to talk right to the camera on this. If you're an actor and you get an opportunity to audition, please don't play a detective or a therapist. Make them three-dimensional. Be a very specific person. Make great choices. And you may never get a chance to play that role other than that one audition. So just lay it down. Don't play it safe.
Wow.
Do not play it safe.
Can you give them some examples, Harley? Like what kind of characters to play?
Here's what I do. So when I direct people, just especially when it's first time actors on a bigger project or with a director that's really engaged, if let's say that you're going to play a character and your only scene in the movie is this one scene where you're going to be the talk show host, but this time when you're the talk show host, your family's under siege at your house while this is happening, and you gotta make sure nobody notices all the way throughout the show, knowing that there's somebody that holds your family hostage while this is going down. Think about the dimensions that adds to your character.
Yes.
Now, it obviously has to fit the script, so that's not maybe, but I'm just saying, if you play in a character that is in a hurry to go to the bathroom, you may be a little rude to the person in the scene because you're trying to get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Little tiny layers of little tiny things make your character memorable, interesting, adds layers to and the audience will never know what exactly it is, but you made a distinct choice which made you stand out from all the other people that auditioned because you were actually a very specific person that's fully true to the situation. You just added a tiny layer that nobody knows about, and that's why you behaved the way you did.
Just that little rudeness.
Yes, a little bit of
I
flair.
like that.
A little bit of flair, yeah.
Such great advice for a lot of actors out there.
Yeah.
Be very specific.
Yes.
Specificity is
Nobody
what-
wants to see a detective.
Yeah.
I want to
Even though
see.
a lot of people do that because there's
Yes,
so
they
many
do. They play the
detective shows.
generic.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so
they
many
all play the same guy.
detective shows out there, and they're like, oh,
Wow,
okay.
that's incredible. I love that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, gosh, what great advice for actors, right?
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
gosh, I'm seeing
Make
Tony
choices.
put in his hands there that we're
Oh.
down to the 3-minute mark.
Oh, wow.
This has gone
That
by
was
so
fast.
fast. Like, wow. So the last question, if you were to have dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I start with Bob Marley. That kills me that I never got to see him. He's just, if I'm ever having a hard time in my life, you turn on Three Little Birds. I mean, it melts my soul, and I feel good. It literally drops my blood pressure 20 points. So Bob Marley, I would love to sit down with. I just love the philosophy of never losing your roots. He was so true to himself all the way through. And to see, I mean, this guy went out and performed after he was shot and going up on stage and doing Unity in Jamaica when it was a tough time, and for him to what an amazing person to be the artist and the person, and being able to be so true that the lines between them both blur. When you can be the same guy wherever you are, that to me is something that I admire. So Bob Marley, definitely. Prince probably will be high up on my list. Prince, just such an interesting guy. I remember I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, still am, but seeing Prince was like, wow.
Wow.
That was amazing. And then maybe we'll add Mick Jagger to the end.
Oh my goodness, incredible. Harley, your insights today have been nothing short of inspiring as you continue to push creative boundaries and tackle issues through your films. It's clear that your dedication to storytelling remains stronger than ever, looking beyond 2025 and all the exciting things that you have. Thank you so much for sharing your insights into filmmakers out there, the advice. What great advice. Looking forward to seeing all of your exciting upcoming projects as well. Tess, this has been fantastic.
I thank you so much. Yes, it was great interviewing Harley. It was great working with you again.
I mean, what advice would you have for anyone about this episode? I mean, it's a must-watch for actors,
You gotta look.
directors.
It was so informative, and Harley is he's got a plethora of information and resources. So listen to this podcast.
Incredible, and he's got 3 films.
Busy year.
Busy year.
That, I mean, I know your social media is somewhere, but
Yeah.
is there any website that folks can go and just to stay tuned to know when the movies are premiering?
Yeah, Painted Creek Productions is a good resource, but Painted Creek Productions on Facebook, it's actually very active on telling everything that's in the works. So it's a fantastic place to follow, and I'm pretty responsive, probably mostly on Instagram, but on Facebook as well. So feel free to chat with me, and thank you, Tess. Thank you, Eve. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You made this time fly.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this very inspirational episode with Harley Wallen, actor, director, producer, writer. Thank you so much, Joe. Roger Neal, I hope you feel better. Thank you, Tony Sweet over there. Thank you so much, Tess. Thank you for coming today. As everyone knows, it's been a very crazy period here in LA. My prayers from all of us here prayers to everyone out there going through this very challenging time in LA and around the globe. Please make sure you watch this very inspirational episode with Harley on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Please continue to check us out every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. You never know who's going to stop by. Until then, bye everyone and see you soon. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.